January 3rd, 2019. Woman commits suicide at the Marriott next door. Yesterday, we met with the developer, Chris Day, who assembled parcels north of us for the purpose of building an office complex and 2 hotels. He completed the office complex a couple of years ago in the Marriott courtyard last July. He's now looking to develop the acreage closest to us, and wanted to talk to us about how he might acquire our 2.5 acres on the north end for his parking lot and retention pond. On Friday, December 28, 2018, a woman in her 50s went into her room, laid on the bed, and shot herself in the head with a small caliber gun. No one even heard the shot. She was discovered by the maids when they came to clean the room. Marriott says 5 to 6 people a year kill themselves in their hotels, and it's usually around the holidays. Makes me wonder, across all chains, how many people each year decide they don't want to make a mess in their own homes, so they go to hotels instead. That strikes me as being just one more act of selfishness before the biggest one, which affects the lives of everyone around them. When we first started working with Chris, we wanted a paved road to our place, water and sewer throughout the sanctuary, and some undetermined amount of cash for the land. Now we are thinking that we can end the abuse of big cats sooner than water and sewer will be meaningful to us, and having a paved road entry for our last few years, when we have managed with a dirt road for 26 years, is more of a luxury. We pointed out that we paid $10,000 and used our political goodwill to get him the deal with the county that he wanted for the park across from his hotel. We also pointed out that our traffic on the dirt road means a constant dusting of his pool area and guests. He agreed, so I suggested that as a measure of goodwill, he just open the gates on the south side of the Marriott. That way, our guests who get lost can come in either way, and a sign at our exit can direct them up that way so as to minimize the dust. There is already a road. We already have insurance. All he has to do is open the gates. Whether he does or not will tell me all I need to know about his intentions. What I might be willing to do, and told him so, is to work out some sort of co-ownership of the 2.5 acres, so that we still benefit from the future appreciation and sale. Plus, we would need him to secure the permits from the county to move 2 mobile homes to someplace else on our property, and have him cover those costs. And we want the paved road. He says that's doable, if we can figure out a way to be less than 1/20th of the equity position. Being more so means we would have to sign personally on the estimated $9 million loan, and we don't want that. Chris is valuing his 2 acres at $1.2 million, even though he only paid $245,000 for it, but has only ever valued ours at roughly $250,000. He says the rezoning makes the difference in value, and I can see that to a certain extent. He claims the partners have about $100,000 each in the 2 acres, so I wonder if that includes the rezoning. But to buy any of them out, he'd have to triple what they invested in 2016, which I think is ridiculous. He can't build the hotel without us. There just isn't enough room, even for a parking garage from what I can tell in his 92-bed layout. It's hard for me to get excited about partnering in another hotel, as I just don't think Citrus Park, which has nothing but us and a mall to offer, is a big enough destination to survive any downturn in the economy. Meanwhile, Tanya Shute, an intern from South Africa, asked if there is any undercover work she could do for free while here, and I sent her the following. I've been trying to get someone inside of Sue Pierce's place, and then I gave her the 911 page for Sue Pierce Animal Adventures. There is a man who seems to be sort of related to the place, offers tours to people to come and hand feed the cats, but they have to meet him at a place in town first, and then he takes them back to town. Kinda creepy. He says it's because there's no cell signal at the place, in case you get lost, but my guess is that they are trying to control access. At this point, he's allowing photos and videos, so we would need to send someone with you to be the feeders, and you could film them. I have a couple in mind. He is a big guy who is proficient in martial arts, and she's an activist, but isn't known by her face or name to the bad guys. You could drive down together. None of the bad guys will allow photos or videos. Some of the reporters we are working with got some undercover footage at Marriott Hotel Zoological Wildlife Foundation Zoological Imports last week, but that Marriott Hotel was a convicted felon, and if they made him nervous with their questions, he may be on high alert for a while. I'd love to get footage of this guy Vernon Yates. I gave his 911 page, Wildlife Rescue and Rehab, and you can see a corner of his property from the road, but he's physically attacked me twice and never lets people on his property. That's why the photos on my page above are the only ones that exist. He stopped letting the press in there a long time ago because of the photos getting out. He only uses family members to keep his alleged practice of bringing home rescued wildlife to feed his big cats. The last outsider who was there told me he rescued a bobcat who was injured and fed it alive to the tigers. Another place I'm curious about, and no one has ever gotten a photo to my knowledge, is another Sue Arnold in Okeechobee, bigcatrescue.org/Sue Arnold, at 14895 Northwest 30th Terrace, Okeechobee, Florida, 34972-0941. Almost every time we ever rescue a jungle cat and a lot of servals, it was from people who bought from Sue Arnold. Her website is down now, and all I could find is a TripAdvisor post to get the address. One person tried for a visit under the auspices of going to ask about volunteering, and she said she could smell the urine from the curb, but Sue wouldn't let her in. I'll see if I can get the couple to go with you to Sue Pierce's place in Okeechobee if you want. Maybe on the way you could swing by Sue Arnold's to see if you can tell if she's still breeding and selling servals and jungle cats. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.